My name is Emmanuel Agata. I'm a wilderness expedition leader. I work for Bridge Adventures. I've been a mountain guide for the last 15 years, and in that 15 years, I've been able to successfully summit Mount Kenya over 100 times, been able to successfully summit Kilimanjaro for 47 times, and been able to also summit 8 of the 10 highest peaks in Africa, and on the way to summiting the 7 highest peaks on every continent. I started this by accident, by just volunteering to go for a hike. I went to the mountain, enjoyed it, and then one day I had to sit down and decide, maybe I should do this as a career and pay bills using it. So number one, for now, I'm doing mountaineering to pay bills. You could say there's a little bit of craziness that goes around a mountaineer's head, but it is what is called calculated risk. Now, as a mountaineer, there are things that we know are real risks and we try and mitigate that. And then there's perceived risks. And we try as much as possible to not tip the scale of perceived risks becoming real risks. For every mountaineer who's always wanted to push themselves, then climbing Everest is the pinnacle of a mountaineer. When the first person climbed Everest, nobody had ever thought of it. So when they proved that they could climb, then everybody else started climbing, and therefore but you could only climb using supplemental oxygen. A little bit of correction that we're not climbing without oxygen. There's very little oxygen in the air, so you're just supplementing it with a canister. So when a lot of people, it became a usual thing that people who could climb Everest could climb with supplemental oxygen. So human beings, being human beings and wanting to break the barrier, started doing it without supplemental oxygen. So the first person did it, and therefore everyone is trying to do it. We all don't have to summit Everest, but there's Mount Kenya. Luckily for Kenya, there's a hill somewhere around within 2 kilometers of our homes. So if you can start from there and just walk, then as we expand our horizons, then we find more places to go hike. The best way to prepare for a trip is one, to check on the weather, to find out what the weather will be like so that you know what gear and equipment and clothing to prepare for. And then find a reliable guide organization that organizes for such activity. And then start training, get to a basic level of fitness, because you're going to be walking for several hours on a day, sometimes weeks. So you need to get to a basic level of fitness, and what I really recommend is running and jogging and sometimes walking, just to get your body to be able to walk and to be on your feet for several hours. There's 2 ways to do this. Number one is, as an individual, explore, open your exploration eyes and see what the places you can go to. Are they safe? Are there animals? What time do you need to start? If you live in Meru, I know there's a national park near there. So are you about to encounter buffaloes or animals? So those are the things you need to do before the hike and go. One of the reasons why you need to climb a mountain is, think of life as a mountain. Starting out slowly and gently from the bottom, and then getting to a place that is difficult, and usually a bit difficult as you get to the top. So and the struggle that gets you to the top, think of your career. You started out very well and you enjoyed it, then got to mid-level management, and you started being challenging, and then as you're giving more responsibilities, the more challenging it got. That is what mountaineering is. And then when you get to the top, you enjoy the view, and you look at the view and the expanse that's down and the sunrises that I earlier explained, and enjoy it. And you think that you've accomplished everything, and then you have to go back down and then start over again on another mountain. That is life. So it's just the continuous climbing and struggling and enjoying the successes and coming down. I personally don't think that summiting is the success to an expedition. I think coming back safe is a more successful trip. So if you went up and was successful in summiting, then kudos to you. If you went up and maybe one thing or another led to you maybe being unwell, or couldn't summit, or maybe got hypothermia, or got altitude sickness, but you came back safe, that's still a win. Because the thing is, bad news travels faster than good news. So a lot of people would hear how a mountaineer died on Everest or on Mount Kenya, or sometimes even on Longonot, but you'll never hear a story of how young kids woke up one day and went to Longonot to hike, or to Karura to hike. So the more safer we make our trails and our mountains, I think to me that's a more success, and the more we bring people, make it more inclusive rather than exclusive. The reason why people should try out mountaineering is, one, it gives you an excuse to travel, to see your country, to see the world, to see the cultures, to meet different people that you're used to. The second reason is for your own health. Mountaineering made me fitter, made me more healthier. And the third reason I think would be it's cheaper than therapy. So if you need to just let out and scream out in the wild, nobody will judge you. So go, pay the park fees. So you start out as saying, I'm conquering the mountain, I went and conquered this mountain, I went and conquered Mount Kenya, I went and conquered Kilimanjaro. But when you leave the mountain, you actually left it as you found it, but you're the one who is a changed person, and you realize you're the one who conquered yourself. So it's just the continuous journey of self-improvement, and the more you expose yourself to these mountains, you realize the better of a person you become.